What truly happens when we die? This question has captivated humanity from the very beginning, sending explorers of the spirit into deep contemplation, scientific experimentation, and philosophical discourse. Many have attempted to provide answers, but few have dedicated their lives as fervently to uncovering the mysteries of the soul's journey as the late Dolores Cannon. Through decades of hypnotic regression research, Cannon compiled volumes of accounts describing life before birth, life after death, and the place of the soul in an ever-evolving tapestry of existence. In this mini-documentary, we will explore the essence of Cannon's findings, weaving first-hand stories from the realms beyond, channeling ancient wisdom, and digging into our timeless fascination with the afterlife. We will discuss the threshold moments immediately after death, the so-called life review, encounters with guides and past loved ones, and the possibility of planning new incarnations. Regardless of your beliefs or background, join us as we step into the infinite space between worlds, a place beyond human understanding, yet intimately tied to our soul's deepest truths. Dolores Cannon was an author, past life regressionist, and investigator of all things metaphysical. Over the course of almost 50 years, she pioneered a method of hypnosis known as quantum healing hypnosis technique, or QHHT. During her sessions, clients would relax into deep trance states and recount experiences far beyond their current life's memory. Previous lifetimes on Earth, lives on other planets, interactions with spiritual guides, and vivid details about what they perceived as the afterlife. Cannon published numerous books describing her sessions. In them, the concept of the soul's journey appeared again and again. Souls, according to many of her subjects, are not confined to a single lifetime or a single world. They incarnate over and over to learn lessons, refine their essence, and ultimately progress toward a higher level of consciousness. Dying, then, is not the end. It's a door, one that reveals a vast new dimension of experiences, challenges, and preparation. Before we delve further, it's essential to note that, while Dolores Cannon's work has avid followers, it also has skeptics. After all, the afterlife is inherently elusive. Even so, Cannon's extensive research, spanning decades of client sessions, offers a surprisingly cohesive narrative shared by individuals from diverse backgrounds and belief systems. They spoke of similar stages of transition after physical death, something Cannon came to regard as universal signposts on the soul's path. These stories from clients pointed to a grand design, a cosmic tapestry where each soul has a role, each life has purpose, and each death is merely a chapter's end in an ever-unfolding cosmic book. Through Cannon's careful documentation, we begin to understand that death is less about finality and more about metamorphosis. According to Dolores Cannon's interviewees, the exact moment of death is deeply personal, but also profoundly liberating. Many described that as soon as the heart stops beating and the final breath fades, they experienced an immediate release, freedom from physical constraints. In that instant, there is a sense of detachment from the body. The soul lifts or floats above, able to observe the physical form left behind. One of Cannon's subjects likened the experience to shrugging off a heavy coat. Another compared it to stepping out of a dense fog and suddenly being able to see. In this float-like state, the soul remains tethered momentarily to the earthly dimension, often witnessing the grief of loved ones or the procedures of medical staff, if the death occurs in a hospital setting. This stage is brief, but the choice to linger is sometimes influenced by the soul's sense of readiness to move on. Such accounts challenge the purely material view that consciousness ceases upon death. Instead, from the soul's perspective, the moment of death is simply a transition from one form of existence to another. People under hypnosis recalled hovering near their body for a short time, and then described feeling an invisible pull or a gentle encouragement, drawing them away from the physical scene. In many accounts, this transition is smooth and painless, like entering a warm, comforting space. Some reported being greeted by deceased relatives or friends who serve as loving guides, helping the newly freed soul to acclimate to its non-physical state. This initial reunion is often filled with reassurance, a reminder that the soul remains connected to loved ones even across the boundary we call death. Once a soul departs from its physical surroundings, the next phase often described is the life review. Cannon's clients spoke of this in remarkably consistent ways, an introspective journey where one views and feels the entirety of the life just lived. But this is more than mere memory. In these recollections, the soul re-experiences emotional reverberations, seeing not only personal feelings, but also how one's actions influenced others. This review is said to be neither punishment nor judgment in the traditional sense. Instead, it's a learning experience, a compassionate unveiling of choices made and lessons learned. Dolores Cannon explained that souls view their actions from a place of higher understanding, free from the filters and biases that clouded them in human form. It's like studying a profoundly educational documentary about one's entire earthly incarnation, yet feeling, in a heightened way, the exact impact of each moment. Imagine replaying your interactions, big and small, every kind word, every sharp remark, every moment of courage, and every instance of fear. Through the lens of universal empathy, you perceive both sides, how your kindness uplifted someone, how your anger might have hurt them, and how your presence influenced the flow of events in subtle or significant ways. This is the life review. According to the accounts Cannon gathered, compassion reigns supreme in this space. You are your own observer, your own teacher, and your own student all at once. Guides or higher beings may stand by to offer insight. Some souls, overcome by regret or sorrow, may need extended time to process and forgive themselves. But the overall atmosphere is one of unconditional love and understanding. With each revelation, the soul gains clarity about what was accomplished in the lifetime and what remains to be learned. This step propels the soul toward deeper comprehension of its karmic patterns, leading into the next stage of planning for future growth. Almost every tradition involving life after death references some form of spiritual guidance. Dolores Cannon's sessions were no exception. Countless clients under hypnosis recounted encountering loving, wise presences, spirit guides, guardian angels, or light beings, who assist them as they navigate the realms beyond death. These guides, it's said, have walked with the soul through multiple lifetimes, perhaps evolving alongside it or assigned by a higher universal intelligence. They often serve as mentors, providing context, clarity, and comfort after the transition from physical life. They may communicate telepathically, conveying whole concepts and understandings in an instant, or using symbols that resonate deeply with the soul's own experiences. Cannon frequently documented how these guides help the soul contextualize the life review. For instance, they might highlight pivotal moments where the soul's original plan for a lifetime succeeded or fell short. Yet their approach is never harsh. It is a gentle guiding toward deeper self-awareness. Guides are also instrumental in the next phase, determining what the soul seeks to learn or heal in its ongoing journey. Clients would describe council sessions where a group of advanced beings, sometimes called the Council of Elders, the Elders of Light, or other names, offer wisdom. In these gatherings, the soul explores the overarching reasons behind challenging relationships or life events and prepares for the next step in its evolutionary process. In many narratives, these guides project a sense of radiant, benevolent energy. When one interacts with them, it feels like coming home. They welcome the soul as a cherished friend, emphasizing that each journey, no matter how difficult, is part of the grand tapestry of learning. Beyond the immediate post-death transition, many of Dolores Cannon's subjects spoke of an in-between place, a dimensional realm where souls reside, heal, and plan between incarnations. Some called it the spirit world. Others referred to it as the interlife or the between lives state. The environment, as described, varies depending on the soul's needs and perceptions. For some, it resembles a peaceful countryside, reminiscent of beloved earthly landscapes. Others see it as an abstract realm of light and color, unburdened by physical forms. Time as we know it does not exist here. A sense of timelessness pervades, allowing souls the freedom to reflect, commune, and integrate their recent experiences. It is in this realm that souls undergo profound rejuvenation. Some speak of resting in pools of healing light, tended by compassionate beings who help them release lingering trauma or emotional burdens from the life just ended. Others describe communal areas where souls interact with members of their soul group, beings they have shared incarnations with across eons. This in-between space is also where the seeds of a new life are planted. Through dialogues with guides and councils, the soul explores, what did I learn in my last life? What do I still wish to learn? Who will join me in my next incarnation to help me fulfill these lessons? In a cosmic sense, it's akin to reading through your spiritual syllabus and deciding the next courses in your soul's curriculum. Cannon's clients often felt this stage to be profoundly comforting. Freed from the constraints of a physical body, freed from the illusions of ego, the soul can access higher levels of wisdom and comprehension. Memories of lifetimes past emerge, weaving together to form a coherent understanding of the soul's ongoing evolution. Many of Dolores Cannon's sessions indicated that souls tend to travel in groups. These soul groups are composed of individuals who share karmic connections and who often play recurring roles in each other's incarnations. One lifetime you may be siblings, in another you could be parent and child, friends, or even adversaries. The goal is to help each other grow, offering challenges and support to catalyze spiritual development. Imagine returning from a long journey abroad and reuniting with old friends who have known you all your life. That sense of familiarity, relief, and unconditional love is precisely what souls described upon returning to their soul group in the interlife realm. Cannon documented countless cases where subjects recognized dear companions who had incarnated with them many times before. Reunions in this domain tend to be joyous, filled with laughter and a profound sense of belonging. The soul is reminded that no matter how isolating an earthly experience might feel, one is never truly alone. These group connections often extend beyond purely positive relationships. Sometimes, the closest soul companions volunteer to play difficult roles in our lives, rivals, heartbreakers, or challengers, so that we can confront our deepest lessons. The interlife, then, becomes a place of loving reflection, where each member of the group shares insights from their latest adventures in physical form. They console one another, celebrate successes, and strategize for future incarnations. It's a reminder that earthly dramas are part of a grand learning environment, carefully coordinated in a realm governed by unconditional love. Having reunited with their soul group and reviewed their most recent life, many souls take part in an essential process, planning the next incarnation. Dolores Cannon often used the term pre-birth planning, where the soul, in collaboration with spirit guides and possibly a council of elders, outlines the broad strokes of the upcoming life. Souls choose potential families, key relationships, and major challenges or themes they intend to explore. Everything from geographical location to body type, innate talents, and emotional tendencies can be carefully mapped out. However, free will remains paramount. Once embodied, the soul will still make choices day by day. The plan serves as a roadmap, not a script set in stone. Clients under Cannon's hypnosis often recounted that certain karmic threads influence this planning. If the soul feels it didn't fully grasp a lesson about compassion in the previous life, for instance, it might choose circumstances that encourage the development of empathy. Some souls opt for more comfortable lifetimes, while others choose significant adversity, believing that such challenges will yield exponential growth. But it's not all about hardship. Souls might also designate missions of service, intending to help uplift humanity or bring about advancements in art, science, or spirituality. The possibilities are as limitless as the cosmic consciousness that births them. In many ways, this stage underscores the idea that life on Earth, and indeed in any dimension, is purposeful. Every encounter, every struggle, every triumph is woven into an intricate web of growth opportunities. Thus, from this vantage point, death is not just an ending. It's a comma in the ongoing sentence of one's eternal story. Yet, not all souls elect to return to Earth right away. Sometimes, a soul feels drawn to other realms or even other planets, according to some of Cannon's more surprising session transcripts. The universe, by this account, teems with life in both physical and non-physical forms. A soul may decide it can learn more from an incarnation as a different species, or in a dimension that operates under different cosmic laws. Moreover, there are souls who choose extended study and service in the interlife realms. They may act as guides to newly transitioned souls, or help facilitate spiritual healing. Others might spend time integrating lessons from multiple lives before embarking on a new incarnation. The afterlife, in this view, is a dynamic continuum of exploration, healing, and service. These possibilities highlight the tremendous creative freedom inherent in the spiritual cosmos Dolores Cannon described. Far from a static heaven or hell, the afterlife emerges as a boundless field of opportunities for growth. If Earth represents one grand school, there are countless others offering different curricula. Some souls, for instance, feel they've learned all they can from Earth's dualities and move on to higher dimensional experiences. Regardless of the path chosen, the underlying principle remains consistent. The soul is an eternal being on a never-ending journey of expansion. Death simply loosens the bonds of one dimension, opening the gateway to new horizons of learning and loving. One of Dolores Cannon's more intriguing assertions is the multidimensional nature of the soul. She believed we exist simultaneously in multiple timelines and realities, a phenomenon sometimes called parallel lifetimes or multidimensional existence. Under deep trance, some of her clients described experiences where they accessed parallel versions of themselves, making different choices, living different outcomes. While it may sound fantastical, this concept resonates with certain theoretical physics models that propose parallel universes. In Cannon's spiritual framework, these parallel realities exist so the soul can explore every nuance of experience, gleaning wisdom from multiple trajectories at once. Death, then, becomes a portal not only to a single spiritual domain, but to an interconnected web of possibilities. If our souls truly operate on multiple levels, each death in each reality represents a distinct graduation. But all these aspects share an overarching consciousness or higher self. From that higher self perspective, everything is known and integrated. Such a concept redefines the afterlife as a vast mosaic of probabilities, each death a stepping stone to ever-expanding understanding. Yet, this idea should not diminish the significance of our individual lives. Instead, it can deepen our appreciation for each moment. If we are, in fact, multidimensional beings, then the day-to-day lessons become even more precious. Each choice contributes a thread to the cosmic tapestry we are weaving across realms. It's important to acknowledge that Dolores Cannon's ideas, despite being cherished by many, remain controversial in mainstream science and religion. Critics argue that the content revealed under hypnosis could be influenced by the hypnotist or the subject's own imagination. They suggest that the subconscious mind, eager to please or to construct compelling narratives, might synthesize elaborate stories rather than recall actual events. Further, many religions hold doctrinal beliefs about the afterlife that differ significantly from Cannon's findings. They might assert that a soul goes to a permanent heaven, hell, or reincarnation cycle defined by specific rules. Meanwhile, strict materialists argue that consciousness is entirely a product of brain activity, ceasing at death. In Cannon's defense, the recurring themes across thousands of client sessions are difficult to dismiss as mere coincidence. People from drastically different backgrounds often described remarkably similar processes: life reviews, encounters with guides, and pre-birth planning. For her supporters, these consistencies provide evidence of an underlying spiritual reality. Still, every individual must determine the veracity of such claims based on personal resonance, experiences, and inquiry. What Dolores Cannon offered was a window, a glimpse into a possible explanation for life, death, and the soul's endless capacity to learn. Whether or not it aligns with established science or dogma, it has undeniably brought comfort and inspiration to countless seekers. It's not just past life regressions that support some of Dolores Cannon's findings. People who've had near-death experiences often recount strikingly similar elements. They speak of hovering above their bodies, encountering tunnels of light, meeting angelic beings, undergoing life reviews, and feeling enveloped in unconditional love. Though Cannon's methodology focused largely on hypnosis rather than spontaneous medical crises, the overlap is remarkable. NDE researchers like Dr. Raymond Moody and Dr. Kenneth Ring also noted patterns of life reviews, otherworldly landscapes, and interactions with divine or deceased loved ones. This interconnection between NDE testimonies and Cannon's hypnotic regressions suggests that we may be tapping into something universal, a shared blueprint for the journey of consciousness post-death. Skeptics still question whether NDEs reflect genuine travel beyond the body, or are merely the brain's reaction to extreme stress and reduced oxygen. But for those who have lived through these experiences, the profound sense of reality and transformation that follows is undeniable. Many individuals return with diminished fear of death, heightened spiritual awareness, and a renewed passion for life. Cannon's work resonates with these transformations. She frequently cited NDEs as independent corroboration that consciousness extends beyond the moment of death. Together, both lines of investigation paint a compelling picture of a realm that is as real to the departing soul as the physical world is to the living. Beyond the intrigue of what happens after death, Dolores Cannon's work carries a significant message for how we choose to live. If the soul truly continues, if our actions reverberate across multiple lifetimes, then our moment-to-moment decisions take on greater weight. Love, compassion, forgiveness, and creativity become more than ideals. They become essential tools for soul growth. Many of Cannon's clients emerged from sessions with a deeper sense of purpose. They realized that every conflict, every challenge, was an opportunity to learn and to offer love. Even the smallest act of kindness gains cosmic importance, planting seeds that could influence our experiences here and in realms yet to be discovered. According to these perspectives, life is a classroom, but it's also a grand stage where we co-create experiences with others, shaping destinies in subtle yet profound ways. Understanding that the soul exists in a continuum can inspire us to prioritize relationships, cultivate empathy, and explore our passions without the paralyzing fear of finality. Ultimately, if the soul's journey after death is as expansive and fluid as described, then life itself is a precious gift, one chapter in an endless anthology of existence. Knowing that we'll eventually reflect on our actions in a life review, we might as well strive to fill our pages with grace, courage, and love. It's not just past life regressions that support some of Dolores Cannon's findings. People who've had near-death experiences often recount strikingly similar elements. They speak of hovering above their bodies, encountering tunnels of light, meeting angelic beings, undergoing life reviews, and feeling enveloped in unconditional love. Though Cannon's methodology focused largely on hypnosis rather than spontaneous medical crises, the overlap is remarkable. NDE researchers like Dr. Raymond Moody and Dr. Kenneth Ring also noted patterns of life reviews, otherworldly landscapes, and interactions with divine or deceased loved ones. This interconnection between NDE testimonies and Cannon's hypnotic regressions suggests that we may be tapping into something universal, a shared blueprint for the journey of consciousness post-death. Skeptics still question whether NDEs reflect genuine travel beyond the body, or are merely the brain's reaction to extreme stress and reduced oxygen. But for those who have lived through these experiences, the profound sense of reality and transformation that follows is undeniable. Many individuals return with diminished fear of death, heightened spiritual awareness, and a renewed passion for life. Cannon's work resonates with these transformations. She frequently cited NDEs as independent corroboration that consciousness extends beyond the moment of death. Together, both lines of investigation paint a compelling picture of a realm that is as real to the departing soul as the physical world is to the living. Beyond the intrigue of what happens after death, Dolores Cannon's work carries a significant message for how we choose to live. If the soul truly continues, if our actions reverberate across multiple lifetimes, then our moment-to-moment decisions take on greater weight. Love, compassion, forgiveness, and creativity become more than ideals. They become essential tools for soul growth. Many of Cannon's clients emerged from sessions with a deeper sense of purpose. They realized that every conflict, every challenge, was an opportunity to learn and to offer love. Even the smallest act of kindness gains cosmic importance, planting seeds that could influence our experiences here and in realms yet to be discovered. According to these perspectives, life is a classroom, but it's also a grand stage where we co-create experiences with others, shaping destinies in subtle yet profound ways. Understanding that the soul exists in a continuum can inspire us to prioritize relationships, cultivate empathy, and explore our passions without the paralyzing fear of finality. Ultimately, if the soul's journey after death is as expansive and fluid as described, then life itself is a precious gift, one chapter in an endless anthology of existence. Knowing that we'll eventually reflect on our actions in a life review, we might as well strive to fill our pages with grace, courage, and love. Dolores Cannon emphasized healing, not only in the sense of physical health, but also emotional, mental, and spiritual. Her QHHD sessions often provided insights into how unresolved traumas from past lives could manifest as ailments or phobias in the current life. By recognizing these deeper patterns and the soul's continuity, individuals reported profound breakthroughs and transformations. When we internalize the concept that we are more than our physical form, that the soul endures beyond the final breath, we can begin to shift how we approach trauma and emotional challenges. Instead of feeling trapped or doomed by a single lifetime's misfortunes, we can see them as part of a much bigger tapestry. This broader perspective can be empowering, reminding us that every wound carries potential for growth. Every pain harbors the seed of understanding. Healing also extends to our relationships. If the people in our lives are part of an ongoing drama that spans multiple incarnations, then forgiveness and reconciliation become vital. Realizing that we may meet these souls again in different roles can inspire us to untangle karmic knots rather than deepen them. By recognizing the soul's eternal nature, we can transform how we navigate crises, grief, and even death itself. The knowledge that our loved ones continue to exist, simply shifting forms, offers solace. And should we cultivate communication with our inner guidance, we might even sense their presence beyond the veil. To illustrate the soul's post-death journey further, Dolores Cannon often shared anecdotes from her case files. In one, a woman feared water without any rational explanation. Under deep trance, she recalled a lifetime where she'd been a sailor lost at sea. The intense fear locked into her soul memory. Upon recognizing this root cause and understanding the lesson behind it, trust and surrender, her present life phobia faded. In another example, a man described dying on a battlefield centuries ago. He carried guilt over taking lives and believed he was unworthy of happiness. In the interlife, he encountered a council that showered him with compassion, showing that the war had been part of a larger karmic tapestry. This revelation allowed him to release self-blame, and he became more open-hearted in his current life. Stories like these reveal not only how the soul transitions after death, but also how those experiences imprint our present reality. Each death and each life leaves a soul legacy, which, when healed and integrated, enriches our overall being. Such case studies, while anecdotal, offer a relatable dimension to the otherwise abstract idea of life after death. They remind us that each soul's journey is unique, shaped by the interplay of free will, karmic patterns, and the unwavering support of loving guides. In discussions of the afterlife, predestination versus free will is a common point of debate. Dolores Cannon's work suggests a nuanced balance. While souls craft a broad plan before incarnating, outlining key lessons and potential challenges, how they navigate those situations remains open to choice. We might fail or succeed at a lesson, delay it for another life, or even surpass expectations by finding new ways to grow. This interplay of fate and free will extends beyond death. Even in the spiritual realms, souls can choose their paths, whether to return to Earth, explore other dimensions, or serve as guides. The overarching theme is that growth is voluntary. No cosmic force compels a soul to evolve, yet evolution remains the natural inclination of consciousness. Understanding this balance can have a profound impact on how we approach life. We can embrace responsibility for our choices, knowing they shape not only our experiences here, but also our trajectory beyond death. At the same time, we can release the fear that everything is rigidly fixed. Rather, our destiny is a dance, guided by intention, shaped by circumstance, and performed in the spirit of discovery. In essence, death doesn't strip us of our free will. It merely ushers us into a realm where choices are guided by a higher perspective. We continue to learn, choose, and create, just in a different vibrational setting. The question remains, how do these perspectives about the afterlife influence our daily lives? Dolores Cannon believed that by understanding the soul's eternal nature and the cyclical process of learning, we can cultivate more intentional, compassionate, and fearless approaches to living. 1. Mindful action. If every thought and deed is eventually reviewed, we might strive to act from love rather than fear. This mindfulness can reduce harm and enhance kindness in our interactions. 2. Resilience in adversity. Knowing that challenges are catalysts for growth can help us persevere, reframing hardships as opportunities. 3. Forgiveness and healing. Realizing that soul groups often reincarnate together can motivate us to resolve conflicts and forgive, breaking cycles of karma. 4. Open-minded exploration. The idea that consciousness is vast encourages us to remain curious, exploring meditation, spiritual practices, or creative endeavors that enrich our understanding of existence. By integrating these principles, we can cultivate a life that resonates with deeper purpose. It's not about escaping earthly responsibilities, but rather fulfilling them with greater compassion and awareness. If the afterlife is a classroom where we evaluate and integrate our lessons, then the present life is our lab, a place to experiment, learn, and grow in real time. As we bring our mini-documentary to a close, we stand at the threshold of mystery. Death, as presented through Dolores Cannon's work, is not an abrupt cessation, but a gateway into boundless realms of possibility. Souls cross over, review their lives, heal in the interlife, and plan new incarnations, all under the guidance of benevolent spiritual forces. They reunite with soul groups, explore other dimensions, and continue learning in ways that defy our conventional understanding of time and space. What does this mean for us here and now? Perhaps it means hope. Hope that our departed loved ones remain close, that life's hardships hold deeper purpose, and that our consciousness carries on, ever evolving, in a universe filled with wonder. Dolores Cannon's legacy is more than hypnotic transcripts. It's an invitation to expand our minds, awaken our hearts, and remember that we are far more than physical bodies living linear lives. Each of us has a role in this grand cosmic story, and death is but a page turn, a momentary pause in an epic we are co-authoring with the cosmos. Whether you embrace these ideas or question them, they offer food for thought, a broader lens through which to view our existence. The next time you gaze at the stars or ponder the meaning of life's trials, consider the possibility that your soul has traveled through many experiences to reach this exact moment, and will continue traveling long after your last breath. For as the saying goes, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And in Cannon's vision, that experience is eternal, cyclical, and forever filled with the promise of new beginnings beyond every ending. Dolores Cannon's work reminds us that while the afterlife may remain elusive to scientific instruments and logical proof, it continues to surface in countless accounts, regressions, near-death experiences, spiritual traditions worldwide. It weaves together a narrative of love, learning, and infinite expansion. For those seeking direct experience or further insight, Cannon recommended open-minded exploration, be it through hypnosis, meditation, or quiet reflection. She asserted that we all hold an innate connection to the higher realms, an inner door that can open through genuine intention and practice. However we approach it, the crux of her message is one of unity and transcendence. The soul never truly dies. It transforms, migrates, and carries forth the essence of all it has learned. And so, in the hush that follows our final heartbeat, life in another form begins anew. We hope this documentary sparks curiosity and offers solace. May it empower you to live fully, love generously, and seek wisdom with an open heart. For if Dolores Cannon's insights hold a kernel of truth, then each of us is a timeless voyager, with unimaginable adventures waiting just beyond the veil. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the soul's journey after death. May your path be illuminated by the knowledge that you are far more than your earthly form, and that love, learning, and connection await you in life and beyond. We are all in this together. We are all one. And when you reach that state, you cannot harm another because you would be harming yourself. In recognizing our oneness, may we open to the grander narrative of which we are a part, a narrative that transcends the boundaries of life and death, weaving each of us into the cosmic dance of creation. Perhaps the greatest takeaway from Dolores Cannon's explorations is that the universe is more mysterious and majestic than we can ever fully comprehend. Yet, within that mystery, we find an echo of home, a resonance that reminds us there is purpose, that our stories matter, and that we continue beyond the final curtain call. Let this knowledge stir your spirit, embolden your curiosity, and fill your days with kindness. For if the soul indeed journeys onward, then every gesture of love and understanding contributes to a brighter tapestry, one that spans countless worlds and lifetimes.